research. I mean, it's doing things in an empirical way, as opposed most of what goes on in HR, a lot of what goes on in HR departments is just fads. It's just somebody has an idea and they spin the idea and they pursue it and chase it down. We're a research organization. My background is engineering. There's a systematic, analytical way. If you gather data, analyze data correctly, you can solve any problem. The problem is getting organizations, in particular HR people, to start paying attention to data and empirical analyses as opposed to political favors of the month. This business of the truth being relative, truth being what did they call it? Was it the guy in the Bush administration said to the guy from the New York Times? The problem with you people is you believe in a fact-based universe. We create the facts. We have to get past that and get back to the notion that there is a reality, there are truths, and they can be discovered empirically, but you have to care and you have to be willing to do the hard work to find the answers. Leadership is the ability to get a group of people to work together toward a common purpose and do it at an effective level. That is, leadership is about building and maintaining a high-performing team and beating the competition. It's not about getting promoted and getting a salary raise. It's about building a team that can beat the... Think about Army. You got to be, here come the bad guys. You have to, so leadership is about building and maintaining a high-performing team. We know exactly how the dimensions of personality that are related to that capability, and it's mostly people get it wrong. What happens is the wrong personality, the staff gets alienated, they get disengaged, they quit, they stop working hard. You hear this all the time in athletics. The coach has lost the team. They won't play for him anymore. And the same thing happens in business. The manager has lost his team and they won't perform for him. People talk all the time about how much things are changing, but as the French say, plus ça change, c'est plus la même chose. I mean, the more things change, the more they're the same. What doesn't? Circumstances change. Financial crises come and go. Invasions come and go. Plagues and pestilence come and go. But human nature is pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same people walking around today that were walking around 200,000 years ago. Human nature is the constant, and that's the part of the equation you have to get. We get that right, and then the rest can flow on by. That's the fundamental problem in the study of leadership in the Western and the Eastern and the Southern and the Northern worlds. That's the fundamental problem. They've looked in the wrong place. They've studied leadership from the wrong perspective. Studied leadership in terms of trying to understand leadership in terms of who gets to the top of organizations. Who gets to the top of organizations is successful politicians. Really good leaders are humble, understated, and they care deeply about how well the team's performing. Bad leaders are all about self-promotion, about being in charge, and about showing up on TV and twittering and playing on Twitter. They struggle because they use interviews as a way of finding talent. People cannot evaluate talent based on interviews. The only way to identify talent is with empirically validated psychometric devices. There's absolutely no alternative. And the data on that go back to the 1940s. The problem is, inside organizations, it's all politics all the time. Many people in organizations don't care about how well the organization performs. They care about their own promotions. If they cared about how the organization, they would use validated, empirically justified scientific procedures for making decisions about talent. At the level of the workforce, you go into an organization, the workforce always knows who the good managers are and who the bad managers are. The best single way to identify high potential is to ask the workforce who the good managers are. Don't ask the bosses who they like, ask the subordinates who they prefer. There's this constant search for the new, the glittering, the shiny new objects. and you can see just an array of vendors selling shiny new objects. The basic technology for identifying quality leadership has been around for 50 years. And so people are looking for, it's the old is new again, if anyone would pay attention.